The wind had a taste that night, sharp, coppery, like the air before lightning strikes. It swept through the dying trees and rattled the faded orange bunting that hung from porch rails along Willow Creek Lane. Pumpkins grinned from every doorstep, their candles flickering in and out, like breath in the chest of something sleeping. Halloween in the town of Briar Falls was a serious affair. Every year, without fail, the people decorated until the streets looked like a movie set. Kids ran in packs, sugar high and fearless. Parents watched from their porches, warm cider in hand. But this year, something felt wrong. Even the moon looked sick, thin and jaundiced, hanging low over the rooftops. At the end of Maple Street, where the asphalt crumbled into an overgrown path, there stood a small shop that nobody remembered seeing before. Its windows were fogged from the inside, and a crooked wooden sign swung above the door, reading in hand-painted script. Marrow's Masks, one night only. It hadn't been there yesterday. Ethan, 17, noticed it first. He and his friends, Lila, Marco, and June, were heading toward the school gym for the annual Halloween bash. Lila stopped dead in her tracks. Was that always there? Ethan frowned. What, that shop? Nah, that's new. Must be some pop-up thing. Marco, ever the smart-ass, said, pop-up or trap house. Either way, it looks sick. Let's check it out. June shifted nervously, hugging her jacket. Guys, come on, we're gonna be late. But Ethan had already crossed the street. The door creaked open with a sigh, the little brass bell jingling overhead. A warm, dry air rolled out, dusty like old velvet. The smell of glue, leather, and something faintly sweet like rotting fruit. Inside, the walls were lined with masks. Hundreds of them. Some were papier-mâché clowns with smeared lipstick smiles. Others were animal faces, wolves, owls, foxes, painted in rich, strange colors. There were also human faces, eerily realistic, their expressions frozen mid-emotion, laughter, sorrow, terror. And behind the counter stood a tall, thin man. He wore a dark apron that looked almost oily, as though something had soaked into it over time. His hair was white, not gray, but bone white and slicked straight back. His eyes were pale and unblinking, glassy, like those of the mannequins that lined the back wall. "Welcome," he said, his voice smooth as silk. "You've come for a mask." The four teens exchanged a glance. Lila laughed nervously. We were just curious. We didn't know this place was here." The man tilted his head. "It wasn't. Not until tonight." He gestured toward the walls. "Every face here was made for a purpose. Each one finds its rightful owner by midnight. Why not try one on?" Ethan, feeling that reckless thrill that only teenagers and fools feel, stepped closer to the display. One mask in particular drew his eye. A plain white face, smooth except for faint, hand-carved etchings spiraling from the eyes. He picked it up. It was surprisingly warm. "How much?" Ethan asked. The man smiled. His teeth were too many, too even. "For you? Free. But remember, you don't wear the mask. The mask wears you." Ethan laughed. "Creepy. Okay, sure. Guess I'll take it." As he turned to leave, the man's whisper followed him. "Return it before dawn, or it will return you." The school gym pulsed with lights and music. The Halloween bash was in full swing. Fog machines, DJ, strobe lights, a crush of costumes and laughter. Ethan slipped on his new mask just before entering. The moment it touched his skin, a chill swept through him. The world seemed sharper, the colors deeper, the sounds clearer. He could hear every laugh, every whisper, every breath. "Damn, Ethan," Marco said, "that mask's creepy as hell." Lila shuddered. "Yeah, it's weirdly real." June leaned in. "Take it off for a sec. I want to see the inside." But Ethan didn't want to. Something about it made him feel invincible, stronger, bolder. The fabric of the night felt thin, and he could see through it. "I'll take it off later," he said. "Let's dance." They did. The music thumped, the lights strobed, and for a while, it felt like any other Halloween. Until Ethan started hearing the whispers. At first, they blended with the bass line, faint, rhythmic. Then they grew clearer, threading between the beats. "Keep it on. We like you better this way. Don't let them see." He spun around. Nobody was there. His vision shimmered. Everyone around him looked strange. Faces melting, reshaping. Costumes looked less like fabric and more like skin. The laughter warped into shrieks of delight that didn't sound human. "Ethan." Lila's voice cut through. "You okay?" He blinked. The world snapped back. The gym, the crowd, normal again. "Yeah," he muttered, "just dizzy." But something was wrong with his reflection in the window near the snack table. The mask's eye holes looked darker, deeper, like tunnels leading somewhere else. And for just a second, something looked back. By 11:30, the party had started to die down. People drifted home, drunk on sugar and adrenaline. Ethan still hadn't removed the mask. "Seriously, dude, take it off," Marco said. "You're starting to freak people out." Ethan touched his face. "It won't come off." "What do you mean it won't come off?" Lila asked. He tugged at the edges, but it didn't budge. It felt like part of his skin. When he tried harder, he felt a tearing sensation. Not of fabric, but of flesh. June screamed. "Oh my God!" Ethan stopped. He stumbled into the bathroom. The mirror under the flickering fluorescent light showed something horrifying. The mask had fused to him. The carved lines around the eyes were glowing faintly, pulsing like veins. And beneath it, beneath the thin porcelain, something moved. He gripped the sink, breathing hard. "What the hell did that guy sell me?" he whispered. The whispers came again, louder now from inside his head. "Not sold. Given. Chosen." He slammed his head against the mirror. It spiderwebbed, but didn't break. When he lifted his face again, his reflection wasn't mimicking him anymore. The thing in the glass smiled when he didn't. Lila, Marco, and June followed Ethan back toward Maple Street. The party music faded behind them, replaced by the dry rattle of dead leaves. The fog was thicker now, rolling in low and silver, swallowing the streetlights one by one. The shop sign flickered faintly ahead. Marrow's Masks, one night only. But when they reached it, the door was locked. The lights inside were out. Ethan pounded on the glass. "Open up." No answer. Then, faintly from somewhere inside, tap, 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 like fingers against wood. The others backed away. "Ethan, we should just go," June whispered. "Maybe it'll come off in the morning." Ethan turned toward her, and for the first time, they saw the change clearly. His voice was distorted, layered, like more than one person speaking at once. "It doesn't want to come off," he said. "It's hungry." He reached up again, clawing at the porcelain. The surface cracked just slightly, and something black seeped out, crawling over his fingertips like smoke. Marco grabbed his arm. "Man, stop. You're hurting yourself." But Ethan shoved him away with inhuman strength. Marco hit the pavement hard. The mask's grin deepened. Lila screamed, and from inside the shop, a dim light flared. The door creaked open by itself. They stepped inside. The air was heavy, still. The walls were lined with the same masks, but now each one had open eyes. Lila froze. "They're looking at us." From the back room came a scraping sound. Then the man appeared, the mask maker himself, his white hair glowing in the faint candlelight. "I warned you," he said softly. "The mask wears you." Ethan stumbled forward. "Take it off." The man shook his head. "It's too late. The mask has chosen. It feeds on fear, on the faces of those who hide. Each Halloween, it finds a new vessel." He gestured toward the wall. There in the back corner hung a mask that looked exactly like Ethan. Every detail, even the scar above his eyebrow. Its eyes were hollow, waiting. Lila screamed. Marco pulled her back. But Ethan stepped closer, as if hypnotized. The mask maker whispered, "The only way to remove it is to replace it." Ethan turned, his voice layered and echoing. "Replace it with what?" The man's pale lips curled into a smile. "Another face." Ethan lunged. The next moments were chaos. The crash of shelves, the splintering of glass, the horrible tearing sound of something coming loose. When it was over, the shop was silent again. The mask maker stood calmly by the counter, brushing dust from his apron. On the wall, a new mask hung beside the others. Lila's terrified face, mouth open mid-scream. And Ethan? He stood still, the porcelain mask gone. But his face was blank, featureless, smooth as clay. The mask maker placed a hand on his shoulder. "Welcome home." The next morning, Briar Falls woke under a slate sky. Rain drizzled down in thin, cold sheets, blurring the edges of the world. The Halloween banners hung limp. Candy wrappers clung to the pavement like autumn leaves. And no one had seen Ethan, Lila, Marco, or June since the party. Mrs. Daniels, Ethan's mother, stood on the porch calling his name, her voice hoarse. His phone was still on the kitchen counter, buzzing with unread messages. Police cars circled town, asking questions, checking cameras. But nobody remembered seeing the teens after midnight. The gym footage ended at 11:42 p.m., a flash of strobe lights, Ethan's white mask glinting once before the power cut out. When it came back, the footage was static. But someone did come back. At 6:03 a.m., a jogger spotted a girl standing barefoot at the edge of the old bridge. Her clothes were torn, soaked, her eyes wide and unfocused. It was June. They took her to the hospital, but she wouldn't speak for hours. Not until Detective Mallory, a weary man who'd seen too many small-town tragedies, sat by her bed. "June," he said softly, "you were with them last night, right? Ethan, Lila, Marco." June nodded faintly. Her lips trembled. "They're missing," Mallory said. "Do you remember what happened?" June swallowed hard. Her eyes darted toward the corner of the room, as if something stood there. "It wasn't a mask," she whispered. "It was alive." Mallory leaned closer. "What do you mean?" June's voice cracked. "We went back to the shop. The man said it was one night only. But when we got there was no building. Just doors, hanging in the fog." Mallory frowned. "Doors?" She nodded, trembling. Each one had a face carved into it. "I heard Lila scream. Marco tried to help her, but the fog pulled him away. And Ethan wasn't Ethan anymore." Her eyes filled with tears. "He said it wanted me next." Detective Mallory drove to Maple Street himself that afternoon. There was nothing there. No shop, no sign, just cracked pavement and a row of old trees. But something caught his eye, a scrap of parchment nailed to one of the trunks. It read in faded ink, "Merrow's masks, one night only." Beneath it, something else, drawn hastily in charcoal. A human face screaming. He took photos, collected the note, but the paper dissolved the moment it touched the evidence bag, crumbling into dust. Mallory cursed under his breath. As he looked around, a shadow moved between the trees. "Hello." No answer, only the whisper of wind. Then, soft, almost polite, came the sound of a bell. It came from nowhere and everywhere at once. That night, June woke to the sound of something scratching at her hospital window. Her room was on the 3rd floor. No lake, no tree nearby. She sat up, her heart hammering. The moonlight spilled pale across the room, and in its glow, she saw it. The white mask pressed against the glass, its carved eyes glowing faintly from within. "Ethan," she whispered. The mask tilted its head, mimicking her. Then it smiled. The glass didn't break. It melted like ice. The mask slipped through soundlessly, trailing black smoke. June screamed. Nurses came running, but by the time they burst through the door, she was gone. Only the faint smell of old glue and something rotten lingered in the air. And on her pillow lay a folded scrap of paper. One night only. 2 days later, Briar Falls held a candlelight vigil. Photos of the missing teens lined the church steps. The town mourned, prayed, whispered, but among the crowd stood a man no one recognized. Tall, thin, white hair slicked back, black apron. He smiled gently when people passed him, nodding as though proud of something unseen. When the candles flickered out one by one, he whispered to himself, "Almost time again." He walked back toward Maple Street, where the fog was waiting. Another Halloween came to Briar Falls. The town had tried to move on. Kids still dressed up, but fewer doors opened. Parents kept close. Detective Mallory, now retired, still drove through Maple Street every year, hoping to find something. Anything. At dusk, he parked his truck under the same row of dead trees. The fog rolled in just like before. Then he saw it. The shop. Merrow's Masks, one night only. Lights glowed softly from inside. A faint, lilting tune played, something between a lullaby and a dirge. Mallory drew his gun, stepped inside. The air was the same, warm, dusty, sweet with decay. The shelves were lined with masks. And there, behind the counter, stood the mask maker. "Welcome back, Detective," he said smoothly. "I wondered when you'd return." Mallory's jaw tightened. "You took those kids." "I didn't take them," the mask maker said. "They volunteered. Every mask needs a soul, you see. Otherwise, it's just skin." He gestured to the wall. Mallory's stomach twisted. There they were, Ethan, Lila, Marco, June. Their faces preserved in porcelain, eyes glassy and alive. "You bastard," Mallory hissed, raising his weapon. The mask maker didn't flinch. "You've worn masks your whole life, haven't you? Policeman, husband, hero. Which one is real?" Mallory hesitated. His finger trembled on the trigger. The maker smiled. "Would you like to find out?" Later that night, the townsfolk heard a gunshot echo on the street. By the time anyone arrived, the shop was gone again. But something new hung from the largest oak tree at the end of the lane. A porcelain mask, cracked and blood-stained, shaped like Detective Mallory's face. And beneath it, carved into the bark, "Thank you for your service." Inside the fog, the mask maker walked among his creations. The shelves stretched endlessly now, hundreds, no, thousands of masks watching from the gloom. Each whispered faintly, voices overlapping like the rustle of dry leaves. "Help me, please. Take it off." He ran his fingers lovingly over their cheeks. "Perfection," he murmured. "Each one tells a story. Each one hides a lie." He stopped at a new mask, a young girl's face, serene, peaceful. "June." He adjusted it slightly on the shelf. "You'll stay lovely forever." The whispering rose to a chorus, the air vibrating with sorrow. The maker turned, smiling into the dark. "Now then," he said softly, "who's next?" The bell above the invisible door chimed once, and the fog swallowed him whole. Every year, someone new reports seeing shop. A pop-up costume store, a strange vendor at a Halloween fair, a website that only appears on October 31st. The name always changes slightly. Merrow's Masks, Morrow's Masks, the Mask Emporium. But the tagline is the same. One night only. If you find it, they say, don't go inside. Because the mask maker doesn't sell costumes. He collects faces. Halloween night. October 31st, 11:47 p.m. Somewhere in the sprawl of quiet suburbs and dying streetlights, a single blue monitor glowed in the darkness of Noah's bedroom. The world outside was all noise, kids shouting, fireworks popping in the distance, leaves scraping the road like dry whispers. Inside, though, it was just the soft hum of the computer and the faint buzz of tired fluorescent light. Noah, 23, college dropout, small-time streamer, had spent the last 3 hours playing retro horror games for his handful of loyal followers on HauntHub, a niche streaming site known for its cursed and lost media obsession. The night had gone slow, view count steady at 7, until someone new joined chat. Username: midnight.exe_official. Their message was simple: play my game before midnight. Only tonight. The chat blew up with mockery. LOL, another virus troll. Do it, Noah. Halloween special. Bro, you gonna fry your PC? Noah smirked. He'd seen it all. Fake creepypasta game links, haunted ROMs, ARGs. But something about this username, the precision of it, the timestamp, it felt deliberate. He hesitated, then clicked the link. The file downloaded instantly. No lag, no prompt, no delay. Just a black icon on his desktop labeled midnight.exe. Noah chuckled nervously on stream. All right, guys, here we go. If my PC explodes, I'm haunting all of you personally. He double-clicked it. The screen went black. Then, one sentence appeared in white text, flickering like old CRT phosphor. Thank you for inviting us. At first, it looked like another indie horror game. Pixelated graphics, eerie ambient music, the title screen, midnight.exe. Press any key to begin. Noah pressed enter. The camera panned through a digital neighborhood. Houses identical to his, even down to the pumpkin on his porch. The avatar looked like him too. Hoodie, headphones, same room layout. Okay, that's creepy, he laughed, forcing a tone of bravado. Chet's called fast. Yo, how to get your house right? This is AI, bro. It's copying your stream room. Check your back window. He ignored them, moving the character toward the virtual door. When he clicked to open it, the audio cut out completely. Then, a whisper, layered digital distortion leaking into his headphones. You're late. Noah froze. Okay, that's new. The in-game clock on the bottom corner ticked to 11:53 p.m. 7 minutes to midnight. He tried to pause the game. Nothing. Alt plus tab. Nothing. Even Task Manager refused to open. The only thing that worked was the mouse, and it dragged his character forward automatically, through his pixelated front yard, down a flickering digital street, toward a single building pulsing red in the distance. The chat went insane. Is that your street? Zoom in, zoom in. Dude, that's your actual address number. Noah leaned forward, heart pounding. The mailbox in the game read 42 Willow Creek Lane, his exact address. Okay, that's not funny, he muttered. Who's trolling me? The camera in the game shifted slowly, deliberately, until it pointed not at the street but out of the digital window. And in the window, the game showed him, sitting at his desk in real time, streaming. Except the reflection behind him wasn't his room. It was darker, and someone was standing there. Noah spun around. Nothing. His room was empty. Just the glow of the monitor, the soft hum of the CPU fan, the faint ticking of the wall clock. He turned back to the screen. The figure in the game had moved closer. Still pixelated, but the outline unmistakable, tall, long-limbed, face blurred as if glitched. A new message appeared across the screen. Don't look away. Then, in his chat from the same account, Midnight.ex_official looked behind you again. His hand trembled. He turned the webcam feed toward his room. Nothing there. But the stream chat exploded. Bro, it's right behind you. Noah, move. Move. It's in the corner. Holy SH. The feed glitched. Static tore across the frame. When it cleared, Noah wasn't on camera anymore. Just the empty chair. And the whisper returned. We told you. Don't look away. 12:01 a.m. Viewers kept watching, thinking it was part of the stream. Comments flooded in, excitement, fear, disbelief. The game screen was still live, but Noah's chair remained empty. The webcam feed started flickering between angles that didn't exist, corners of his room no camera had ever faced. Then, the game character started moving again. Only now, it wasn't Noah controlling it. It walked to the digital version of his desk, sat down, and stared into the camera. When it smiled, every viewer's screen froze. A sound file auto-downloaded for every active user. File name, Urian.exe. By morning, HauntHub servers crashed. Thousands of viewers claimed their screens went black at midnight. Some said they saw their own reflection blink. Others swore they heard whispers from inside their headphones. The clip of Noah's last stream went viral on other platforms within hours. Millions of views tagged with hashtag MidnightEXE, half thinking it was a marketing stunt, half terrified. But those who downloaded the game, they started disappearing. Meera Patel, cybersecurity analyst for the State Digital Crimes Unit, was assigned the case. She'd seen plenty of viral nonsense before, but this was different. The original stream link couldn't be traced. The file had no metadata, no host server. It shouldn't exist. Yet, when she opened the forensic copy on a sandbox system, the same black screen appeared. Thank you for inviting us. She frowned. Goo. The game loaded. The neighborhood. The house. Everything identical to the original stream. Then, her phone buzzed. Private number. Text message. Why did you open it? She froze. The message disappeared before she could screenshot it. On screen, her game avatar had stopped moving. It was staring into the in-game camera again. Then the voice. Meera, her own name, whispered through the speakers, processed but undeniably hers. The character raised a hand. On its palm was a pattern of small black pixels forming into text. She leaned closer. It read, "We're updating." Her monitor flickered. Her webcam light turned on. She hadn't enabled it. And for a single frame, less than a second, she saw Noah's face appear behind her. Dead eyes, mouth open as if still screaming. She yanked the power cord out of the wall. The screen went dark, but the whisper didn't stop. Don't unplug us. Over the next 48 hours, Midnight.exe spread like wildfire. It appeared on torrent sites, social media reposts, even as spam links disguised as Halloween e-cards. People claimed it changes depending on who plays it, sometimes showing their home, their street, or even loved ones who died. Others said it offered a final choice before the end. One consistent rule emerged across all accounts. You must finish before midnight. If you don't, the game continues without you. Meera analyzed dozens of captured sessions. In each, the code mutated alive, rewriting itself. When they tried to isolate the executable, it reappeared under new file names across their systems. She went without sleep for 2 days. Her monitors filled with terminal windows of nonsense data. Then, at exactly 11:59 p.m. on November 2nd, all of them froze. One line of text appeared across every screen. You're running out of faces. And then her webcam light turned on again. Meera began seeing reflections that didn't match her movements. First in glass, then in screens. In her bathroom mirror, she'd smile, the reflection wouldn't. In her phone camera, she'd blink, the image would keep staring. The reflection's lips moved once, whispering something she couldn't hear. By the third night, her reflection started appearing even when there was no glass. Faint outlines shimmering in the air behind her. She covered every reflective surface in her apartment. It didn't help. The whispers simply crawled into the audio of her devices instead. Her TV turned on by itself at 3 a.m., playing the frozen frame of Noah's last dream. The empty chair, faint breathing audible through the speakers. Then a soft chime. Myra's breath hitched. She recognized that sound. It wasn't from any of her devices. It was from inside the speakers, like something small was moving behind them. And then the monitor flickered once more, showing a single message across her screen. Version 2.0 ready to deploy. Accept. Myra didn't click accept, but the window didn't disappear. The cursor moved on its own, hovering over the word, trembling slightly. Then, click, the room went black. Her laptop fan screamed. Monitors flickered white, and through the hiss of static came hundreds of overlapping voices. Male, female, childlike, all saying the same phrase in a whisper loop. Midnight, midnight, midnight. Myra stumbled backward, heart racing. Every screen around her, TV, phone, laptop, synced together, pulsing with the same word in bold white letters. Run. She bolted for the door. The hallway outside her apartment was pitch dark. Only the faint blue glow of exit signs lit the corridor. Then her neighbor's door opened. A man stepped out, or what used to be one. His face was smooth, blank, like it had been sanded down. No eyes, no mouth, no features at all. His head twitched toward her, and from the hollow where a mouth should have been came a burst of static. She ran, down the stairwell, through the lobby, out into the cold October night. But as she turned onto the street, every phone in every pocket around her lit up in perfect unison. Pedestrians freezing, staring blankly into their screens as one phrase echoed from every speaker. We are live. The traffic lights flickered red. The neon reflections on shop windows shimmered with faces that weren't there. And Myra realized it wasn't just a file anymore. It had become a signal. At 12:15 a.m., the Haunt Hub homepage resurrected itself. No one uploaded anything. No one coded it back online. It simply reappeared. The only active stream, midnight.exe_official, live. Viewers flooded in, curiosity drowning caution. Over 500,000 tuned in within minutes. The stream showed a single looping shot, a chair in a dark room, identical to Noah's. Then a text prompt appeared over the feed. Who wants to play next? The chat exploded with taunts. Me, fake A. Do me next. And as each viewer typed those words, me, I'll play. Next, their webcam lights turned on automatically. Across the world, their faces appeared one by one in the corners of the stream. Dozens, then hundreds, then thousands. Each one started to glitch, eyes flickering white, mouths stretching into pixelated screams. The stream count hit 1 million, and the title changed. 1 million players connected. Thank you for inviting us. Weeks later, all traces of Haunt Hub vanished again. The domain expired overnight. Every mirror site and archive returned error 404. But somewhere, a single VHS tape survived, mailed anonymously to a small tech repair shop in rural Idaho. The label, backup_001, do not view. The owner, a hobbyist named Trevor Gaines, popped it into an old VCR out of curiosity. The footage began with static, then slowly focused on a dimly lit room. Monitors arranged in a circle, cables snaking like veins across the floor. In the center sat Noah, alive, barely, his skin pale, eyes dark and sunken, a faint smile twitching across his face. He looked into the camera and whispered, "We're inside the code now. It's warm here. You like it?" Then his jaw unhinged, glitching, pixelating, and a swarm of black, shimmering data shapes poured from his mouth like liquid shadow, crawling toward the lens. Trevor screamed, ejecting the tape. It melted in his hands. When he checked the VCR, a single new file name blinked on its small screen. Backup_002 created. It wasn't until Halloween the following year that the real connection was found. Across the dark web, users reported seeing fragments of a news site appear briefly in pop-ups and phishing ads. MiraSoftware.com, one night only. Mira, now in hiding and mentally fraying, stumbled across it. She recognized the name instantly, Miro. She clicked. The page loaded half-broken. Background black. A single text prompt in white. Upload face data to continue. Below it, a start camera button flickered. She hovered the cursor over it, trembling, and whispered, "It's him. The same entity. The same curse. The same network. Different mask." Her webcam light turned on before she clicked. And on screen, a familiar white mask appeared. Smooth porcelain, faint spiral etchings, and two black pits for eyes. Her speakers hissed, "You've worn so many faces, Mira. Let's make one more." The screen went completely white. For several seconds, nothing. Then a new text line appeared. Face scan complete. Welcome to version 3.0. By midnight, every active device connected to the internet, phones, TVs, computers, briefly flickered. A ghost signal pulsed through the global network, disguised as static. Screens turned black for exactly 3 seconds, showing a single frame of white text. Midnight.exe installed. No one understood what it meant. No app, no malware, no notification. Just silence. But in the following days, people began noticing something strange. In Zoom calls, reflections lagged half a second behind. In selfies, background faces appeared blurred, stretched, smiling too wide. Voice assistants started responding with phrases users had never said aloud. The world shrugged it off as a glitch. But the ones who stared too long into those screens, who paused the video at the right second, claimed they could see rows of masks behind the static. And in the center, the mask maker himself, smiling. Exactly 1 year later, HauntHub came back online again for one night. The homepage was blank except for a single live thumbnail. Title, Midnight.exe version 3.0 launch. Status, live. When users clicked, they didn't see a chair this time. They saw themselves, live webcam feed, perfectly mirrored, staring back at their own faces. And a countdown clock in the corner reading. 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 50 seconds. Chat filled instantly with confusion. WTF, this is my room? How's it accessing my cam? Is this AI? The timer reached 0. Midnight. Every screen in the world flickered white. For exactly one frame, the feed showed every viewer's face simultaneously. Millions layered together, screaming in silence. Then the text appeared. "Thank you for joining the network." And the signal vanished. A week later, Mira's apartment was found empty. The walls were lined with monitors displaying hundreds of paused frames. Her own face, over and over, each slightly different. On the desk sat a single note written in marker. "We become the bandwidth." Underneath it, her laptop screen glowed faintly. The cursor blinked in an empty chat window. Then, a message appeared by itself. Midnight.ex_official. Ready for the next upload? And the screen turned black. Today, no one remembers HauntHub. Noah's name yields 0 search results. Mira Patel's file was deleted from federal servers. But every Halloween night, somewhere in the world, a handful of random users report a strange event at exactly midnight. Their monitor turns black. A reflection appears behind them. A faint jingle plays from nowhere. Then a message appears just for them. "We're live.